Do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions about what you know about wind energy?
Please do.
All right, let's have some fun here. So first off, how big do you think a industrial scale wind turbine is?
I am going to go with 100 feet by 100 feet.
Nice. What about you?
Maybe 75 by 75.
Okay, so a modern wind turbine scales about 300 feet tall and has a rotor diameter the size of a football field.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they're big machines.
Price is Right rules. Whoever got closest is down.
Yes, if you didn't hear that, the Price is Right rules are in effect, and you are currently doing that. Let's have a little competition here. That's actually really fun. Let's do that. All right, so we got some sweet stickers. Is that cool?
Okay.
Yeah, we'll sticker you up. So the next question I have is, what do you think that the blades, the 3 points, are made out of? Let's go for you first.
I'm gonna say
Is it recyclable? Like is it natural? Is it a natural resource?
I'm getting asked questions here, and I'm the one asking the questions. Hey, you give it a go.
Steel.
I was gonna say that steel.
So they're actually made out of balsa wood and fiberglass and a series of gel coats, and so they're very flexible, and they can move around and wiggle around a lot. So yeah, pretty interesting. If they were steel, I don't think we could get them going as fast as we do. So as large as they are, they're actually quite lightweight. Okay, so next thing, what do you think an industrial size turbine like this, how much power do you think it makes?
What's the power measured in?
Oh, okay, so let's go for megawatts. Or do you know what a kilowatt is? That's usually how your turbine or your house, like how many watts do you consume in your house? So like a kilowatt is 1,000 watts. So like how many thousands of watts do you think that one of these things make?
1 billion.
500 million.
Okay, so a modern wind turbine will actually make about 2 megawatts, 3 megawatts. Okay, so that's like 2,000 or 3,000 watts. So yeah, a little bit less. But you know what? 1 billion was a super cool answer, and it was a lot of fun. What gigawatts? No, one of the reasons why we do this is we like to educate people on what's happening because this really is a growing energy source. We're gearheads, that's why we're here at SEMA, but I think it's fun to just ask people, and through this you'll learn a little something too. So let's see. How do you think we get up there to work on these things once they're built? How do you think a guy like me gets up there?
Hot air balloon.
Did you get that?
Hot air balloon.
Okay.
Or maybe you could be winched up with a Ramsey winch.
Hey, that's pretty good. Nice little plug there. That's you know what, we do get a lot of tooling up with winches or chains, but most of us climb. We climb about 300 feet and get a nice little workout, like a vertical ladder inside. We're tied in with a harness and a lad safe, and so we don't fall. Some of them, have elevators, but just random question: would any of you climb a wind turbine?
I would.
Not afraid of heights.
I mean, I would be, but I would just do it anyway.
Nike.
Just do it.
Whatever your fear is, you just conquer it.
Yeah. No, I think it'd be fun for sure.
Well, okay, it's your turn now. You ask me questions.
Okay. What is the purpose? What's the purpose behind the wind turbine?
Okay, so more and more we consume more electricity. Throughout the United States and all over the world, we need more electricity to charge our iPhone or whatever it may be. And renewable energy sources like wind turbines get to create electricity out of thin air, which is absolutely wonderful because we don't have to burn any fossil fuels, and it works. So yeah, if it's windy, which all over the United States. Somewhere it's going to be windy, and if we place them in the right places, then we're on the right track and we can create power. So I worked at a wind farm for 8 years, and we produced power for a utility in Los Angeles, so people could keep their ACs on and turn on their TVs or whatever. So that's a pretty good question.
How do the prices compare? So like, is it a cheaper source of energy compared to?
Yeah, it's absolutely comparable to what we have now with natural gas, or if you think about, do you know what a traditional steam turbine looks like? Something like that, or even geothermal. All of these things are very competitive, and so what happens is you get utilities who bid on the project, and they say, we'll pay you this much per kilowatt hour. Yeah. And so you get paid for what you produce. It works pretty well. So our biggest challenge right now is how do we keep it steady all of the time, and combine solar with wind as well as other sources like natural gas, turbines and things like that. Most of the wind turbines are found in places like California, Texas, Kansas, the Midwest, Oklahoma, yeah. All these places where, frankly, the wind just blows, and yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. What are current challenges in legislation to move renewable energy forward?
So one of the biggest challenges is probably well, honestly, it's probably just the lack of knowledge of what these things really are, how they work. I would say that's it. Honestly, all of the people who already own energy companies, they already know, and so they're buying them. So it's the same people who own the large nuclear plants, and they're buying wind turbines as well, so they already know it works. It's the consumer that doesn't necessarily understand, or might be misinformed, or listens to a politician that says something that really doesn't make any sense, but has a lot of impact. So, good question. Wow, you guys you're on point.
I just wonder about states that don't have a lot of space. Like how many acres, how much space does it take to provide the source of energy? Because I just think about New York City, and I don't picture large fields. I'm sure you can transfer the source, but...
Yeah, so New York City isn't a great place for wind turbines just because of the population and all of that. But offshore, off the coast of New York, that's a possibility. Trade winds, the wind is always blowing from the ocean onto the shore. That's the way that the wind works. We have a cold pressure, it's moving in. I'm no weather guy, but that's how it works. Cold air goes to warm air. That's always going to happen. And so off the coast of Rhode Island right now, they have 5 wind turbines. The United States is quite far behind in this compared to the Europeans, but we're making our headway, and we're getting there. But I've built wind turbines in New York State, where they are in rolling hills with plenty of open space. So I don't tell people, let's put these things right in your backyard. You asked about how big. So basically you could fit about 2 half-ton trucks in the base of one, and then have some space left over. But other than that, they go just straight up vertical. So you can have farmland, you can have cows grazing or whatever it is. So. Yeah, well, that was a lot of fun. Why don't you tell people who you are and, again, where we're at, and I think that would be fun.
Absolutely.
Sure. We're at SEMA 2018. I'm Roxanne. This is my sister, Gabby. So we're here with Ramsey Winch.
Come see us.
Come see us here, South Hall.
And we got a photo bomber. I think he was picking his nose on camera. Thanks, man. Anyway, that was fun. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Awesome.